Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Overdrive Files. I hope you all had a great weekend. It's now time to sit back and relax. And if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and join in on the discussion. Now let's get into some movie news. The one bit of movie news that I wanted to talk about from last week is that John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein are in negotiations to direct Flashpoint. Now, if you've never heard of these guys, they directed the Ed Helms Vacation movie from, I think, 2016, and I never saw that movie. I honestly don't know how bad it is, but from what I've read is that it's complete garbage. But they had a writing credit on Spider-Man Homecoming. There's like 6 writers on that, so I'm not sure how involved they were with that screenplay, but, you know, like, this isn't the type of news I want to see for DC films going forward. We recently had that Walter Hamada shakeup. He's now running the DC film division of Warner Brothers, but like, why would you bring these guys in to direct a Flash movie? And I honestly don't think this is going to be Flashpoint anymore. I think bringing in these directors, you know, to me it comes off as like it's just going to be a standalone Flash movie. You know, Flashpoint would require something so massive in scale. Why would you get these writers who have only one directing credit under their belts to tackle a movie such massive in scale as Flashpoint? So, you know, this isn't news I want to hear for DC films at all. You know, it kind of gets me bummed that they're going in this direction. You know, I want like a quality director to tackle a Flash movie. Like we heard, I think this past summer, Robert Zemeckis was in talks. Like that to me got me super excited. You get the director from Back to the Future to direct a Flash movie. That was extremely exciting to hear that was a possibility. But like this news it just almost pisses me off in a way that like, get somebody that, you know, they're a veteran. Get somebody with, you know, a bunch of movies under their belt. Like I just want quality. You know, this news just gets me bummed out. Do you think Universal Studios should continue to pursue the creation of a vintage movie monster universe? You know, before The Mummy with Tom Cruise, I was really excited for this Universal monster franchise that they were kind of building towards, and you know, that movie was just complete mediocre. It was not very good at all. I had some entertainment out of it, but like, what I want out of this franchise is I want them all to be period pieces. I don't want these Universal monster movies to take place in modern times. Like that like these characters were built, you know, decades ago, and I think they fit that time period of when they were created in. I don't want to see Frankenstein walking around like, I don't know, 2020 New York City or something like that. It just doesn't fit to me. Like, but I would be completely excited if they announced that there was going to be a Frankenstein movie that takes place in like the late 1800s with shoot, what's that guy's name? I can't even think of his name right now. Let me know down in the comments below, but you know, I want these movies to take place, you know, back in the day. I don't think they really fit in this modern era. And to me, that kind of showed with the Tom Cruise Mummy movie. But I would be really excited to see all these movies in a kind of a vintage era, like you said. But, you know, with them just taking place in current day, it doesn't get me excited at all. I recently came across a fan-made poster for the upcoming Black Widow movie, and it's very reminiscent of the John Wick Chapter 2 posters. Should Marvel start paving the way to their own R-rated movies? I think with the current lineup that the MCU has, I don't really see them being R-rated at all, but I would be down to see an R-rated Black Widow movie. You know, she's very reminiscent of like a female James Bond to me. You know, if we saw a Black Widow movie, I think it would be sort of like James Bond. It'd be that spy espionage flavor, you know, but then again, James Bond is PG-13. But if you said to me a Black Widow movie is going to be like John Wick, that really sparks my attention. You know, I've spoken out here several times my love of John Wick, but I don't think they would go in that direction. But then again, you have the Disney Fox merger where they're going to be getting all of these characters like Wolverine. You know, we've seen an R-rated Wolverine movie with Logan, and you know, I really want them to recast Wolverine. If they're going to introduce the X-Men into the MCU, I would just like them to kind of, reboot the X-Men and introduce the characters that they want and sort of think fit in the MCU. But I would love to see a standalone Wolverine movie, rated R, just completely brutal. I think there's a place, it's just figuring out what characters it necessarily works for. I'd love to see a Justice League Dark movie made by Guillermo del Toro. What director would you like to see making a DC movie? One director that I'd love to see tackle a DC film would be Brad Bird. We've seen this guy go from animation to live action with The Incredibles and Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which is probably my favorite in the Mission Impossible franchise, but I just think this guy would bring such a great level of hopefulness and just that inspiring aspect to the character that we've sort of lacked that a little bit. But I love Henry Cavill's, rendition of Superman and Clark Kent, but I want to see a Superman movie that is just Superman. Man of Steel was more of it was an origin movie. The end of the movie was like the first day on the job as Superman, and so I just want to see a Superman movie and just call it that, Superman. I'm wearing this by accident, by the way, but I just think Brad Bird would be such a great fit and just bring those tones that we've sort of been missing in a Superman movie. It's now time for the suggestion of the week. My suggestion for you guys this week is Black Lightning on the CW, and this show kind of really caught me off guard. I had a fantastic time watching this, and one of the reasons that I really enjoyed this show is that versus the other CW shows, I enjoy watching The Flash, but with Black Lightning, it's this one man. He's a family man. He's a principal, and he's quit being Black Lightning for like 8 to 10 years, and he has to get back in the game, put the suit back on to protect his family. And there's just something relatable about that. I've never had to do that, obviously, but there's just something that draws me to that character where he's fighting for his family. He's a one-man crew. I think, he has a guy who makes his suit and things like that, but all these other CW shows, they have this team and headquarters, and I'm just kind of sick of that. You have that with Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, The Flash, all of those characters. It's all starting to feel formulaic. And Black Lightning, it was just a surprise to me, and I really liked these characters. And the villain was, he was almost terrifying. He had to reprimand this little kid for playing on his phone and not dealing drugs or whatever was going on in that. But I thought it was really cool and interesting, and I'm really excited for the next episode. So I think you guys should really check out Black Lightning. Guys, that's it for this episode. All applicable links are down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Rex Overdrive. I'll see you next time.